Welcome back to my channel, guys. You saw part 1 of the Cartoonify tutorial and I heard that it was a little too fast, it wasn't clear, it was too complicated, so here I am to bring you an updated, easier version of the Picsart cartoon tutorial. This is very simple for those of you who are just beginning. I do have another video, and this one here, this is pretty much what the thumbnail looks like. It has a little bit more detail on it, it's a little bit more realistic, so once you're ready, go check out that tutorial. Let's get started on the easier beginner one. So once your image is in Picsart, you're going to want to work with the draw tool. It's all the way at the bottom. You just got to scroll a little bit. Once you click on the draw tool, you're going to want to add some layers. Bottom right corner, you'll find a little stacked tile icon, and that's where you're going to click on layers and add them in using the plus button. Now you want to select the color that you're going to start with. So I'm starting with my shirt, so I'm selecting the color with the little draw tool, and I chose baby blue. You can adjust your brush to whatever size you want. I like to go a little bigger, and then you just start filling in the spaces of whatever area you're starting with. So I started with my shirt, so I'm filling in all the spaces of my baby blue shirt. It can be messy because we are going to cover it up with the hair after, and we're going to clean up some edges with the eraser tool. But you just want to pretty much use your little drawing paintbrush tool and fill in all the areas of whatever part of the picture you've selected. So you can start anywhere. You can start with the face, the shirt, the hair. I just like to start with the last layer, so the lowest layer, because as you can see, it's covered by my hair, which is covered by my face. So I like to start with the bottom layer, which in this case is the shirt. Moving on, you're gonna pretty much lower the opacity on this just to make sure it's within the lines, and once you do that, you can bring that layer all the way to the bottom, just like I did right there. So now you want to select the color of the next part of the area you're going to be using, and I'm going to be coloring in my face. I selected the color using the little color picker tool, and now I'm filling that in with the same paintbrush I used on the shirt. So these steps are pretty much repeated until you're working on the details, so you can kind of adjust the layers how you want, but I am now going to be moving on to the hair. So I like to select a color of the hair that seems the most fitting, the most natural. I selected like a dark gray that the color picker tool picked up on, as you can see right here. It's like a grayish brownish black. So now you're just going to fill in the hair, and this layer needs to be the top layer because it's going to be sitting on top of your t-shirt. So as you can see there, it is the top. You can lower the opacity on the other layers if you want to trace it, or you can freehand it. I like to trace so I have a good guideline as to what I'm doing, so I can keep it really similar to the picture that I'm working on. So that's pretty much what you're going to do. You're just going to color it all in, just as I'm doing right here. Also, in case you didn't notice, I did this in fast motion. If you're wondering, I am using an iPhone, not an iPad, not a little Apple Pencil. I'm using an iPhone and my fingertip. It is possible. You don't need fancy tools to do this. You just need to have some patience. So I'm trying to keep it as close to the edges as possible so I have a clean line and it's not like messing up my face. You can clean that up with the eraser after if you want, though. You don't have to do a perfect job the first time. So now I go in and I grab the same paintbrush, but I use it in the size 2. So a really thin paintbrush, and I'm just gonna add some little strands to my hair to make it look really realistic. So I use a really thin paintbrush and I just kind of freehand this. I might do it similar to what I have going on there, but I usually just kind of put in little strands wherever I want. And as you can see, I use this size 6 paintbrush. You can really use like whatever size you want, but that looked good with this hairstyle here. So again, this one doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of throw in some strands wherever you want. As you can see, it gave it a little bit more of a realistic hair look. So now you want to lower the opacity of your skin tone. So you're going to see me do that in a second. So this is done so that you can trace over your own features or whatever you're drawing. You lower the opacity and you're going to go in with a very small brush, probably smaller than what we were just using. So maybe size 2 or 3. And now you're going to trace your features. So I'm going to start by tracing over my eyes. including my eyeliner. So this took me a few tries. As you can see, I messed that up. I did it again. I had to cut some tries out. So don't expect it to be perfect. It's totally okay. So you're going to trace over your eyes, your eyeliner, whatever you got going on. If you don't wear makeup, even easier. And then you're going to go ahead and do that to the other eye. Just trace over everything to the best of your ability. But remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see what's underneath. Then you're going to up the size of your brush a little bit. Oh no, sorry. You're going to lower the size of your brush and you're just going to draw on the little lines, the little creases of your eyes. Then you're going to up the size of your brush, as I just said, by accident. And you're going to fill in the little spaces of your eyeliner or whatever you need to fill in. So I'm just going to color that in right now so that I can get my little wing eyeliner. And these steps will change depending on what kind of picture you got going on here. So it all really depends, but this is what I had to do for mine. Once you fill this in, you can use the eraser tool and actually clean up the edges so you have a sharp wing, just like I did there. See? You just clean it up with the eraser and now it's a perfect cat eye. Now is a part that some people have a hard time with. So we're going to do the eyebrows. I like to try and get the same hair color as the hair and lower the opacity. Okay, so I do this on a separate layer from the actual skin tone. Make sure you're not doing this on the same layer as the skin tone. So you're going to lower the opacity so you can see the brow that you're working on. But then when you select the actual paintbrush, you're going to lower the opacity on that. You're going to lower the hardness on that. And you're going to make the size a little bigger. So as you can see, the hardness is going down. And then you're going to brush over the same eyebrow a few times so that you can give yourself a little ombre effect. So you're going to make a big, like, little splotch, if that's a word. And you're going to give that a little ombre effect. And then you're going to clean it up with the eraser. So the eraser is what you're using to actually shape the brows. Kind of like you would if you're waxing brows in real life. That's what you're doing with the eraser. You're shaping your brows out. You're carving them out from the little thing that you just made with the paintbrush tool. So that, like, big splat of brown paint. So now you're cleaning it up. You don't have to make it exactly like your brows. Just make a good shape, because I mean my brows have a strange shape, so it was hard for me to go over it to the T, but I was able to do it and still make it look somewhat realistic. So once you do this, you're actually going to use the same eraser tool and you're going to do what you did with the paintbrush. You're going to lower the hardness on it and you're going to take off the inner edges of the brow. See? So that you can give yourself that little ombre brow effect. And if you don't do your brows, you probably won't need to do this, but I do my brows, so there you go. Now I have a natural little ombre going on there. You're going to do the exact same thing for the other brow. This one's a little easier for me to trace, but I'm just going to show you one more time. You're going to go over it a couple times with a low opacity and a low hardness, and then you're going to carve it all the way out until you have the shape that suits you best. So as you can see, we're starting to see a face here. You want to select your skin tone now, and you want to define your face. So you're going to choose the darkest point of your skin tone so that you can start outlining your features. So I chose around my nose area to start with, and you're going to use a low sized brush, a smaller brush, and you're going to make sure you're not working on the same layer as your skin tone. Use whatever layer you want, as long as it's one of the top layers and it's not your skin tone. Now you're going to trace over your features. So I'm just tracing over my nose here so I can get the same shape. It's going to take a few tries, but it's totally possible. Trust me. Again, I'm using an iPhone. You're going to get a rough little shape over there. It doesn't need to be exact. And you're going to see that you're bringing definition onto your face. See? Now you're going to do the exact same thing, and you're going to start working on other features such as your mouth. Again, do not, I repeat, do not use the same layer as your skin tone, because anytime you want to erase the definition you're adding, the lips that you're adding, you're going to end up erasing your skin tone as well. So you have to make sure you're on a layer that's above it. So I did my little nose piercing there, I did my nostrils, I did all of that. Again, this is a very simple tutorial for the guys and girls that are beginning. So if you are looking for something more precise and defined, watch my other tutorial. It's a lot more detailed, but this is really for people who are having a hard time. So now I'm going in with the same color as my lips. I use the same tool, same paintbrush and everything, and I'm just drawing over my lips. And I like to do my lips first, and then I go in and I do my teeth on top of the layer, and I just kind of roughly trace those out. You're gonna see in a second. So you can do what you did with the brows and stuff, where you just kind of trace over it and then you clean up the edges with the eraser so you have a nice perfect outline. As you can see, I'm doing it really messy because I know I'm about to clean it up, and it's totally okay. So I lowered the opacity so I can see where to clean the edges, and I go ahead with my eraser tool and I just perfect those edges there so it can be closer to the original picture. Now I'm gonna go in on a new layer, not the same one as my mouth because I need to be able to clean up edges and erase. I'm gonna go in on a new layer and I'm going to start drawing my teeth. So now that we have our facial features kind of coming in, as you can see, when I up the opacity on some layers, my face is looking a little creepy. We need some eyeballs, and this is where Picsart comes in really clutch because they actually have stickers. If you go to the bottom right corner by the layers tool, you can see the little image and you can press sticker. Then you're gonna look up whatever you need. So in this case, I'm looking for eyeball, eye, brown eye. You can try different searches to find what you need. I think I ended up finding it by typing in eye or brown eye. And you're just gonna look for like a contact type sticker, like an eyeball type sticker that matches you. And you're gonna add that in and clean up the edges. The eraser is your best friend. It might take you a few tries like it did for me. So clean up those edges and do the exact same thing for the other eye. Now you're gonna do the exact same thing but for your lashes. So you're gonna look up eyelashes and you're gonna find the one that best suits the shape of the eye that you're working with. So you're gonna have to try a few before you get it, but you're able to shape it and size it and rotate it so that it can fit. So I just play around with it a bit until I feel that it's gonna fit, and then keep in mind you can erase whatever doesn't look good. So I size it to the eye, I play around with it, and I made it work. See? So I do that, and I know that I'm going to cut off the edges just like you would if you're applying falsies. You're just going to cut off the edges if it doesn't fit your eye. So I do the exact same thing on the other side as per usual. Then I just go in with the white drawing tool and I fill in the eye. You might need to go pretty small for this one so you can get the corners, and I get that all filled in so that it looks more realistic. So now you want to get the finishing touches. So I'm going to add in a background color. You can add any color you want. I just went for a lime green for the sake of the video because it's a vibrant, fun color. So any color's fine. Doesn't have to be your real background. That's just making things real complicated for no reason. So that's what I'm doing. After I fill in the lime green, you're going to see that I start to work on little finishing touches. So little details. In real life, you know, you got hair strands, you got multiple pieces of hair. So in a second, you're gonna see me go in with the drawing brush. I'm gonna size it down to 1 or 2, choose a dark color, darker than my hair, and start adding strands in to make it look a little realistic. So you can really do these however you want, whatever feels right, whatever looks right. And you're gonna start adding these strands in so that you can make it look a little bit more real. You can also use a lighter color. Like I like to vary between this and like a white or gray and add like a little bit of shine to it by using a lighter color, just like I'm doing right now. So this is giving it that like that shine look. Then you can outline your image, of course, do whatever you want to it to make it look a little bit more cartoony. It's really hard to outline. You got to have a lot of patience, but the eraser tool is your best friend, just like it is for me. As you can see, I'm cleaning up those edges. And that is the final product. Again, this is a beginner's tutorial. This is just if you want a little cute cartoon. If you want a more realistic one, check out the other tutorial, but this is all done through Picsart. So if you guys like this tutorial, make sure to go to the link in my bio, check out Picsart. You can do this all through this one app. It's 100% free. You can do so many other things on it, and I think you guys will really love it if you haven't checked it out already. So make sure to click the link in my bio to download Picsart for free today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want another tutorial, make sure to let me know. Also, just so you guys know, I do not make cartoons for anyone. Unfortunately, I do not have the time. So that's why this tutorial is here for you guys to make your own cartoons, because I do not make cartoons, not for commission, not for free, not for nothing. I just make them so that you guys can learn how to do it yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.